Hey again, everyone. So some of your questions didn't make it on to the recording last night, so I wanted to send a follow-up video to just kind of go over some of the important stuff that didn't make it onto the video because my hard drive ran out of space. We were just really winning last night in terms of technology. So one of the questions was about shoes. It's really important that you keep in mind that everybody's preference for shoes is going to be really different. So I cannot give you just a straightforward answer on what shoes to wear. But I can tell you we are going to be doing some hiking. The hiking is in pretty rocky terrain. We will also obviously be doing some water activities. I can also tell you what I personally pack. So I personally pack my hiking boots, which are right here. And then I also pack a pair of Keens. So I wear the hiking boots in the day, and I wear the Keens when I don't want to have my hiking boots on and we're not in like the thick of the desert. And then I also wear my Keens for our water activities. So I get away with just having 2 pairs of shoes. For those of you who don't know what Keens are, they're kind of like, they're called waterproof sandals, but they just allow water in, but they don't, they don't get stinky. So that is what I pack. Another question we had was about money. So you will not have to exchange money. You can, but pretty much every time that we will stop somewhere in Baja, or anytime you have an opportunity to spend money, you can spend American bills. It is really helpful if you bring 1s and 5s because they will take American bills as long as they can make change. So make sure you get some small bills and you should be good. Another question we have was about your passport. So you will need to make sure on that first day when you pack your day pack, when we're meeting at the Vans. So let me back up a little bit. When we meet at the Vans, you are going to have 2 bags. You're going to have your big bag, which we're going to put in the back of the van, and you're not going to see that for a day and a half. Okay, so make sure you don't put anything important in there. You're going to have your day pack, which is going to ride with you in the van, and you're going to want to put things for the hotel that evening, so toiletries, a change of clothes, deodorant, sleeping clothes, and your passport, because we're going to need to cross the border. Once we get across the border, once we get to our first location, the ranch at San Gregorio, we are going to be with our in-country partners and pretty much only our in-country partners. So it is not necessarily important that you have, I know it's recommended in the reader to bring like a waist belt. There are very few times when we're walking around a city or something like that that we're not with our in-country partners. So if you feel better about bringing it, you certainly can, but it won't be a situation where you have to wear it all the time. Let's see. Some other recommendations that didn't make it into the video. Keep in mind that there is a wish list for our in-country partners. You do not need to buy used or new items for them. These can be used items. They can be things you have laying around. You don't need to bring anything with you, but that wish list is in your expedition planner. There's a link to it. They're always really appreciative. So keep in mind it's a family of 6, so they have 2 older boys and then a younger girl and boy, and they always appreciate coloring books and learning materials and paper and crayons and things like that. So I usually pick up stuff like that, and you are welcome to as well. Let's see. Other things to keep in mind, you are going to want a sleeping bag. It does get pretty cold in the evening, but with that said, if unfortunately something were to happen to your sleeping bag, I actually got to Africa, Namibia, and my sleeping bag broke, and it was a very ineffective sleeping bag when the zipper didn't close. There are going to be extras, but please do not count on using an extra unless you really need it. So please bring a sleeping bag, bring a pillow. I usually bring a travel pillow, or actually last year I bought an inflatable pillow, and that worked really well for me because it saved space in my packing, but I was also really comfortable. For those of you who are allergic to animals, there are animals at the ranch, not just cows, but also dogs and maybe even a couple cats. So if you do have allergies to that, just please make sure that you bring something that's going to help you cope with that. We will also be traveling with a dog. Megan, our kind of American side of our in-country partnership, has a service dog, Puma, who's one of my favorite animals on the planet, but she will be traveling with us, so if you are allergic, just keep that in mind. It's also a really good idea to bring earplugs. There will be several things throughout our journey that could perturb you sleeping. As crazy as it sounds, I go to sleep every night with like waves playing in the background, but when we are sleeping right next to them, they are very loud. So you definitely want to bring a couple of pairs of earplugs, and you may also want to consider a solar charger. So electricity is really limited. You may not have an opportunity to plug everything in. So I mentioned to the group last night too, make sure you're bringing extra batteries. So if you have a camera and you have access to get some extra batteries for that, I charge 3 or 4 batteries before I go, and then I don't have to, you know, fight for plugs or bother in-country partners to get my camera battery charged. So definitely something to think about. And you can buy really good solar chargers, and obviously our solar power there is pretty good. So please consider that. Connecting with home is the last thing that I wanted to go over. Please make sure you let your family know that there will be very little connection for you. With that said, there are ways that they will be able to communicate. I think there's usually a number that they can call if they had to get in touch with you, and an email address if they had to get in touch with you. We can receive messages 90% of the time that we're there. It is really, really difficult to be able to send messages home. So just let your family know, kind of once we get across the border, there is going to be very little communication on your behalf. But it's also a really nice time. Sorry, it's early morning here at 6th grade sleepaway camp. It's a really, really nice time to disconnect. That was actually one of my favorite things about the course. I am a very connected person, and it was really nice to be able to turn my phone off and not worry about it, and know that no one's being angry at me, right? Like, I'm in the middle of Mexico, I can't answer your call, sorry. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm gonna post both of these videos, and we are gonna have another call, so you should check the workshop for that, but I did just wanna go over some of the other questions that we talked about. All right, guys, catch you later, bye.